Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into a fascinating book. It's more than just a business guide, really. It's Zero to One by Peter Thiel. A genuine manifesto, you could say, about building the future.
Absolutely. And Teal, well, he's known for being pretty contrarian, isn't he?
Oh, definitely. He
Yeah.
challenges so much of what we just kind of accept about progress, about innovation.
Yeah.
Forces you to look at things, well, completely differently.
Right. So our mission here isn't just a quick summary. We want to, pull out the really key insights, the actionable stuff, and figure out why these ideas, even now, are still so relevant if you're interested in, well, making things happen, driving real progress.
Yeah, exactly. And Thiel, he sets the stage right away, doesn't he, with this almost unsettling question. He asks, what valuable company has no one built yet? I mean, that question alone, it just kind of hits you and reframes everything from page one. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Thiel's main idea, his central thesis, it really challenges a basic assumption. He talks about the difference between going from 1 to n, that's like copying things, iterating, making more of what we already have, small improvements.
Incremental change,
Blah.
basically.
But then there's the big one,
Yeah.
the 0 to 1 leap. That's creating something completely new. And he argues that real progress, the kind that actually changes the world, that only comes from 0 to 1. But, like, how do you do that?
Exactly. And that leads us straight into, well, key idea, #1, the power of monopoly. Now, this is where things get, shall we say, a little controversial.
Yeah.
Teal basically says monopoly isn't bad. Actually, he argues it's good for innovation.
Right, which goes against almost everything you normally hear about economics and business.
Totally. His thinking is, well, pretty deep on this. He believes companies that build a strong monopoly, maybe through amazing tech, or network effects, scale, a unique brand, these companies aren't stuck in that constant, fierce battle of competition.
Just fighting tooth and nail over tiny margins.
Precisely. So they have the freedom, the resources, the time to invest in genuine long-term innovation. They're not just thinking about the next quarter. They can think, decades ahead.
And he really doesn't mince words. That quote, competing is for losers.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
It's so provocative, isn't it? It just slams against that common idea that competition is always the best driver.
Yeah.
Makes you think, okay, what's the real goal here?
It definitely makes you reconsider. Like, if everyone's running the same race, are you actually creating anything fundamentally new?
Exactly. Okay, so this next part, key idea, #2,
Yeah.
secrets in contrarian thinking. This is where it gets really, really interesting for me.
Yeah.
If you're aiming for that 0 to 1 monopoly, you can't just tweak existing stuff. You need something truly novel. So how do you even find that?
Well, Teal's answer is pretty bold. He genuinely believes there are still secrets left in the world.
Secrets, like hidden treasures.
Sort of, yeah. Undiscovered truths that most people just don't see or maybe ignore. He argues the biggest breakthroughs come from challenging what everyone else thinks, from being contrarian. These could be secrets about nature, like new science, or secrets about people like unmet needs in a market nobody's noticed, or even secrets about, where technology is headed next.
Things most people just dismiss or can't envision yet.
Exactly. And he throws out this really pointed question to get you thinking. What important truth do very few people agree with you on?
That's a tough one.
It is, but it's not just like a philosophical game. It's a practical push. Look at problems, look at opportunities from a totally different angle. Find those hidden truths.
So, okay, we're hunting for secrets, thinking against the grain, aiming beyond just competition. Where does Thiel say we should focus this energy? He points to startups.
Yeah.
He absolutely does. Yeah.
Right.
For Steele, a startup isn't just, any new small business. It's very specific. A small, dedicated group, hyper-focused on creating something big and totally new, bringing that 0 to 1 idea into reality.
Building something fundamentally different.
Yes. And he lays out a clear strategy for how these startups should operate, and it's often counterintuitive. He says, don't go broad immediately. Start super small. Find a tiny niche market.
Really specific.
Yeah, dominate that small space completely. Get a solid foothold. Then, only then, do you start scaling up, expanding outwards gradually.
Build that strong foundation first.
Exactly. And he warns about pitfalls, too. Like, it's not enough to just have a cool product. You need distribution, a team that's all in on that unique vision.
Right. So taking a step back, what does all this mean for, someone listening? It feels like the appeal goes way beyond just tech founders.
Oh, absolutely. That's a key point. This book isn't just for entrepreneurs starting the next Google or Facebook.
Right.
It's really for anyone who wants to think differently, about progress, about your own career, about how innovation happens in any field, really.
So challenging yourself to find where you can create something new, not just fit in.
Precisely. It's about creating new value, adding something genuinely different rather than just fighting for a piece of the existing pie. It's about expanding the pie itself, seeing where novelty can actually emerge.
Okay, but we should probably touch on the criticisms too, right? For a proper deep dive.
Mhm.
That monopoly is the good line. It definitely ruffles some feathers.
It certainly does. And yes, some critics find his arguments, well, a bit one-sided.
Like he dismisses competition too easily.
Exactly. That maybe competition does spur innovation sometimes or benefit consumers through lower prices. And his idealization of monopoly, it's not always seen that way.
Yeah, I can see that.
And, some parts of the book, they are pretty dense. They require you to sit and think a bit to really get the nuances.
Okay, so fair points. But despite those critiques, the book is still seen as, well, hugely influential, right? Offering really profound lessons.
Definitely. I think its real power, even if you disagree with some specifics, is how it forces you to reframe your thinking.
About innovation itself.
Yeah. Asking those questions about true novelty, about finding secrets, about escaping that kind of mindless competition, those questions are incredibly valuable, whatever field you're in.
So it's more about the mindset shift.
Yeah.
From just copying to actually creating.
Exactly. And that's a powerful shift to make.
So 0 to 1. It's a short read, but as we've discussed, just packed with these deep, challenging ideas, really for anyone thinking about innovation, about building the future. And maybe the best way to wrap up is with Peele's own challenge, directed right back at you, the listener. He asks, so what are you building that has never existed in the world before?
Yeah, that's the core question, isn't it? We really encourage you to sit with that. Think about how you might create something truly new, something impactful in your work, your life, your community. It's about looking past the obvious, finding those secrets, and having the courage to actually build something different, something better.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and keep thinking about how you can build that 0 to 1 value.